guys, it's Shannon. This is Sheepless Needles. You have found a vegan podcast that's not about being vegan, where we do all sorts of fun stuff like knitting and a little gaming, a little reading, a little kind of bunny rabbit action back there, cats, you name it. It's kind of a crazy household that I'm coming to you from. But thank you for joining. Pull up a chair, grab a beverage, grab some knitting. I will be having this. This is called 10 Ton S'mores Stout by Warped Wing. Warped Wing is a local brewery. I love their stouts. They're actually probably more well known for their IPAs, but honestly, their stouts are, to me, better than their IPAs. So let me crack her open. Ow, that's a fingernail underneath there. And we will get this going. I think we are going to start by me pouring this wonderful beverage. Oh, please don't overflow on camera. That would be great. Look at that foam. Come on. Hold the line. Yeah, nothing but foam. Let that calm down. Let's play a game. It's called Scary Noises. Comment down below if you know what movie that's from, because it's probably my favorite movie. Anyway, we're going to play a game. It's not called Scary Noises. It's called What Did I Not Knit On in the Past 2 Weeks? Well, this should make you feel pretty good about your life when you see what I have not done. Well, no, I shouldn't say it like that. Maybe you can commiserate. It is October, right? And if you have been here before, I have been working on a Halloween sweater. It is my second sweater, but it is my first color work piece. And my goal the last time I recorded was really to bang out the body of the sweater so that I just had the sleeves left. What did I not knit on? My Halloween sweater. So let's just start there. It's called Let's Boo-gie. It is by, I'm going to butcher this every time. It's Created with Love by Francesci, who is a dyer at yarnlove.com. It's a great little color work pattern. Use your imagination. I know, black and white. Let me show you what, well, it looks exactly like it did the last time I showed it to you. So if you're returning, take a drink, look down at your knitting, do whatever, because you've already seen this, because it looks exactly the friggin' same. So I have gotten, please listen, yarn, don't argue with my beer glass. That's just not, you won't win. The beer glass will win. I am done with the yoke. Oh, that yarn is going right in my beer. So literally, I start the body the next round. And the body is in, there's so much happening here. The body is in this cream color. And it's got like a little eyelet design. It's super cute. I don't think it'll take me terribly long. I do think I would be done with it had I picked it up and just done anything with it the last 2 weeks. But again, we're playing a game called What Did Shannon Not Knit On? And Exhibit A would be the Let's Boogie sweater. So I have not knit on that. Will I knit on it? There's a gnat. Get. I'm having all sorts of issues today. Yes, I'm committing to, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it in a minute. All right. So Shannon, what else aren't you knitting on? Funny you should ask. I'm also not knitting on my Painting Honeycombs blanket, which is a pattern by Stephen West, and I am so not knitting on it that I can't find where I put the pattern. Now, obviously I've got it saved online. It's like not, dread and gloom. It's not the end of the world. But normally I do try to be pretty organized with my projects, and if I print the pattern, I'll sock it on top of the pattern in whatever project bag it's in. So this is what I'm not knitting on. My Honeycombs blanket. It's actually going to be really cute, you guys, and super cozy. So obviously, well, not obviously. I say that a lot when things aren't actually obvious. Um, it's a blanket, and this pattern just repeats, and you really can't see much of it, but you know, I think you get the idea, right? So I picked what I'm using for this, or what, let me rephrase that. What I am not knitting with or knitting on at all is with Lion Brand skein tones, and I picked up every color that they did in this line to do this blanket. So it's gonna be very neutral, and I really love it, and I have a love-hate relationship with this yarn. I don't hate this yarn, but it is 100% acrylic, and it does have that weird squeak. That's okay, I'm not knitting on it. Exhibit B. Hey Shannon, what aren't you knitting on? Oh my gosh, I can't believe you knew to ask me that. I am not knitting on my painting honeycomb sweater. My first sweater that I've not finished. Do you see a theme here? Okay, hold on. All right, oh, I don't know where the front is. I don't know where the back is. Okay, so this is the yoke. There we go, sorry. I need a Vanna White. I really like it, and it fits so far. I mean, the yoke is pretty much done. I just need to add, if I look at this properly, okay, so this is the back. Let's get my shit straight here, sorry. All right, so this is the back, and I need to add enough rounds where from the bottom of the round to the base of this is 10 inches. And, oh, I'm sorry, the base of this, not of that, of this. And I think I only needed like to do 1 or 2 more rounds, and then you split for the sleeves and you move about your business. But you know what? I'm not knitting on it. And this I am using, or I'm sorry, I'm not using Premier Anti-Pilling Everyday DK. I love this. And in comparison to the Lion Brand, I really love this. The actual yoke colors that you saw in there were a couple different colors. I am using Comfy by Knit Picks in the worsted weight. I have no complaints about that yarn either. I would love to tell you what I'm not knitting on in terms of the needles, but honestly, I don't remember. I think they're US 5s. They're either US 5s or US 6, and they're from my Knit Picks interchangeable mosaic wood, which was a mistake. I should have used metal because it would be quicker. And I think when I go back to this, I am going to switch out. I'm totally lying. I thought these were on wood. Did I already switch them out? I think I started this on, maybe I'm dreaming. Maybe I'm thinking of the blanket. See, this is what happens when you don't knit on things. So these are on, I think these are on Chia Goose, I think. Can I see the cord? Yeah, red cord. Never mind that. I think what it is, let me take a peek at the blanket I'm not knitting on. Yep, that's what it is. The blanket, I'm using my Knit Picks interchangeables, and I need to switch that out to metal because the yarn is just sticking and it's not moving very quickly. But it doesn't really matter because why? Because I'm not knitting on it. Hey Shannon, what aren't you knitting on? Oh my gosh. Well, I'm not knitting on my Tealeaf Tarot Shawl by Mandy B. Critical Role inspired lacework shawl. Hey, you want to see what I'm not knitting on? Oh, held spells. What have I? It's been so long, there's dust coming out of this, just to let you know. It's in a yarn bowl. You've seen this before. Oh my God, dust in my face. Holy sheesh. Okay, so there's a cat in my lap, so this is going swimmingly well. But there is a pattern in there. Hi, Maggie. Are you going to be my Vanna White? Um, I'm knitting this or not knitting this on Twister yarn. Couldn't tell you what size these are, but maybe 4s. I do agree with the use of the wood on this because the lace work, I tend to drop stitches, and if it was on metal, I think I would have thrown this out. So, yeah, so not knitting on that. Hold on, hi, what you got going on? What aren't you knitting on? If you like stouts, I'm just gonna say, we're taking a break from our game. We are in the fall season of Stoutville, and I love it. Now, don't get me wrong, if it's like, in the 90s and we're sitting outside, I love an IPA. But we're not sitting in the 90s outside. It's like, I don't even know what the temperature is today. Um, but I love stouts and porters. They're my favorite types of beers. And there is just something, I don't know what it is about stouts that I love, but I just love them. And this one is particularly good. Let me, oh, peeps, you know what's happening. You know what's happening. Granny's got to put her glasses on. Oh my God, it's amazing how much better you can see when you put your glasses on. Okay, so the Industrial Revolution that forged Dayton, was built on what? Okay, I'm already not understanding this. I think they're trying to say Ohio. The Industrial Revolution that forged Dayton, was built on the backs of many. When the last drop of the hot metal was cast, you would hear that whistle blow. Beer time! 10-ton s'mores stout, hints of chocolate vanilla and creamy marshmallow fused together to bring back memories of the perfect campfire concoction. Take a sip and forge some new memories. Dayton O. I don't know why they just didn't say Ohio. Like, am I missing something? I have never noticed that. Even on their logo, it says Dayton O. Sorry. Okay, I will figure out how to do this one day. No, I won't. But there you go. I'm not sure who did this artwork either, but it's super cute. So anyway, go enjoy a local beverage. It doesn't have to be alcoholic, but wherever you live, maybe they make root beer. Like I know our Wing makes root beer and it's really good. Get a hot chocolate, get a tea. It is fall. It is time for those pumpkin, chichas to be floating through the air into your nozzin. Hey Maggie, did you have a question for me? Do you have a question for them? You're like off camera, just so you know. If you would just like lift up, you would be in camera. Anyway, Maggie would like to know, hey Shannon, what aren't you knitting on? Oh my God, Maggie, you know what I'm not knitting on? Holy smokes, bejesus. I am not knitting on my Botanic Shawl, also by Stephen West. Whoa, holy smokes. Okay. There's a lot going on in my lap. All right. Hey, guess what looks exactly the way it looked last time? Is this deja vu? What is happening? Is it the Matrix? Did a cat pass twice behind us and we didn't know? Did it blip? Could have. This could all be deja vu. You've never seen that before. Hey, which would you take, red or blue? Just asking. Put it in the comments. What is going on? I'm a little crazy today. So, to wrap up the let's play a game, what aren't you knitting on, Shannon? That's the wrap up to what I'm not knitting on. Now, that was, I have to count. 1, 2, 3. That is 5 projects I'm not knitting on. Now, the more astute person, I don't know what I'm doing. There's like hair and crap flying everywhere. The more astute person is probably going, well, Shannon, what, with all that time that you weren't not knitting, What were you doing? Well, I was knitting. Okay, so I fell into a trap. I blame you, Stephen West. I blame you. You and your mystery knit along. Your little challenges, your little clues that suck you in. I had mentioned before that I was not going to show my mystery knit along, and I lied. I am going to show this. Now, here's what I'm going to say. If you have not done the knit along, if you're on the knit along and you're not through clue 2, I am still in clue 2. Clue 3 came out yesterday. I have watched the video. I know what it is, but I am not even done with clue 2. So, if you do not want this ruined for you up to clue 2, clue 1, clue 2, you need to, like, Steve will put a timestamp. He'll put it right there, right in that little chicha up there, okay? There's going to be a timestamp. You need to skip to that because I'm going to be talking about Shawlography. All right, so timestamp, go. See ya. Goodbye. Cheers. I'll see you in a second. Well, it'll be more than a second, but because we all know I'm long-winded, but get to going. Go. Because it's going to be ruined. All right, here we go. All right, peeps. So this is Stephen West. This is his 2021 mystery knit along. Hang on, I am going to remove Maggie from my lap here. Hey, girlfriend. There you go. Boop, boop. Okay. Now, the issue is I've got a live row that is a short row. So my needles are very close to each other and I cannot spread the project out. So this is going to be a little tricky to show you. So I'm just going to try to fold it in half, which is not going to do it any favors, but here we go. Oh yeah, you can't see diddly do that way. Hold on. Let's fix this. Can I hold it? Okay. I'm going to try. All right, so do you see the, okay, this, I need a stand or something. I need to come this way. All right, so this is section 1 is the very bottom here, this little nub here. That is section 1. And then section 2 are these wedges. And when you look at the wedges, you will see that there's the secondary color in between, right? That is section 2. Section 3 is really cool. It has, can you see that? It's like a really interesting overlay stitch that then goes into these, what everyone is calling yarn shrimps. And that yarn shrimp is the end of clue 1. So when you're looking at it, essentially that is all of week 1 knitting. Now, the week 1 knitting, I actually would have been on time for, but I had a slight wrist injury, which I thought was due to too much knitting on this. But I started to think back at what I had been doing, and I think it was from my upper body workout that I did through Peloton, where there were like a ton of push-ups and planks, and this little, I'm out of shape. That's all you need to know. I have no upper body strength. I'm working on it. Okay, so that was week 1 knitting, and then week 2 is what you're kind of seeing. Now, I'm not done with week 2. So section 1 of week 2 are these kind of like stripes, and then it moves into welts, which I'm going to try to, there we go. Can you kind of see how that's a welt? I had never done welts before. So that was fun. And then you did, or I did, these little triangles that you can kind of see. And then there are these little pom-poms, which he calls baubles, that sit on top of the triangle. And guys, it reminds me, straight up, it feels like it's a design out of the 1970s, which I love because, hello, that's the decade I was born in. So My sister, I was talking to her earlier, and she said it looks like a turkey tail or a grouse tail, like the coloration of it. I, yeah, I don't know. I like it though. Okay, so anyway, that's where I'm at on it. I've got short row sections that I need to do for the end of Clue 2, which obviously are not done yet. But this is honestly all I've been working on for 2 weeks. That's it. This is all I've been knitting on. This is that. Didn't touch. We already played the game. You already know what I didn't knit on. I am using, before I forget, and I stab myself in the eye. Did anyone just catch that? I am using LaRue Crochet 100% Tencel fingering weight yarn. I have it in 5 colorways, and the colorways are as follows. When you're looking at this, the color A, which was that first little, ugh, I am so bad at this. I really need lessons. Okay, that little, oh, okay, by the way, excuse the ends. Yeah, that's a little crazy, right? All right, so color A is the bobble. Let's just start at the top. It is, here we go. That's color A. I love it. And color A really has a little bit of almost every other color that I used in it. So that's color A. Color B. Oh, I'm sorry. Color A is called Hoarfrost. Color B is called My Old Friend. Darkness, My Old Friend. You get it? Okay. You're not dumb. I know you got it. C, which I love, is called Fool's Gold. So as you're looking at this, you can see that C is that pop-out stitch that kind of crosses over. And obviously B is pretty dominant in section 1. All right, so that was A, B, and C. Oh, I have D right in front of me. D is called What Lurks, and it's kind of like a pewter color, and it is kind of the stripe color there. It is kind of a stripe color back behind there, the second triangle row right there. All right, and then E is called Poison Apple. Come on. She out of the park with those dye colors. So the welt is in Poison Apple. Now my sister and I were talking earlier, and we both agreed that like she said, I think what he's doing is each one of the colors has a textural element. And I hadn't thought about that, but I think she's right, because A is the bobble, which is like your pom-pom. B is the yarn shrimp, right? Which is kind of a textural 3D component. C hasn't happened. Has C happened yet? No. Huh. All right. And then E is the welt. We both think that the finale of the shawl is going to be fringe, and it's going to be fringe probably in this. I don't want to tell you what this is used for, but it is a textural element, and it's in the upcoming Clue 3. So each one of the colors has a moment of, like, it's a flat shawl, but each one of the colors has a textural moment where it is a 3D element. I love it. I've never done any of those techniques. I had never made a bobble. I had never made a welt. So I'm learning lots of things, and I really love it, but that is all I've been working on. So that, I'm throwing yarn. Hold on. Okay. So like I said, that yarn is LaRue Crochet. I found that on Etsy. I 100% recommend it to anybody. I've really enjoyed working with it. It doesn't split in the way that I had been told it would. But it does snag really easily. So I have to make sure that my cuticles and my fingers are really filed down. I don't know what else to say, because the skin on your finger will catch that yarn, and I have like little blips of yarn that I need to weave back in as a result of that. So I am going to commit to putting that down. I'm going to fall behind, And that's okay. There's no way I was going to get it done in 4 weeks anyway, because I do want to get back to my Halloween sweater. So I will do that. Um, yeah. So the Halloween sweater I am using, oh, I'm using the same yarn that I'm using on the sweater. It's Premier Basic Anti-Pilling Acrylic DK. No complaints about that yarn. It's inexpensive, and I really like it. So that leaves me, folks, with 5 projects that I'm not knitting on. And how will I decide? 1, 2, 3. Yep. How will I decide what will accompany my weeks working on my Halloween sweater, right? So the main thing I'm going to work on up until Halloween is this Halloween sweater. When I need a break from that, I need to pick one of these 5 projects. What's a girl to do? Oh my gosh. What's a girl to do? What is this, you ask? Those in the know that inside this wonderful black walnut beauty by Wormwood Gaming, who is they make well, it's not just Dungeons and Dragons. They make wood accessories for gaming, but they're really well known for tables. They have a prophecy table that one day I would love to have a prophecy table, but the base price is, I just don't even want to get into it. Go look them up. I will link these guys down below. If you have any gaming accessory need, or if you're in the need for a new dining room table that you can game on an N, they're worth checking out. I have no affiliate links. I have no sponsors. So just understand that when I mention things, I'm not getting paid to mention them. So I'd look a lot different if I was getting paid for this, wouldn't I? What is inside this? I'm going to try to flip that. There, please don't fall out. These are my raised obsidian dice. Hi, Nat. I see you. And don't even think about going near my beer, you asshole. Yeah, I see you. Go away. We have bananas upstairs, and it caused quite a fun fest for the fruit flies. Don't you hate that when you get a pack of bananas and you don't realize that one of them, like the top, has broken? No idea. I was like, why are there fruit? What's going on with the gnats? Hi. And now it's just attracted to my, just go away. I'm not going to kill you. I just need you to go away. So I got up. I went over to the counter. I was like, what is going on? And then I picked up the banana, and the one banana just fell right off. I was like, oh. So then I made banana bread. Okay, so anyway, Shannon, why are you showing dice? Because, duh, we're going to roll to see what project I work on with it. So I've got a D6. I know there's only 5 rewind. Okay, I have 5 projects, right? We're going to roll this. And I have these guys lined up. So just so you know what's happening. 1 is the Botanic shawl. 2 is the Tarot Tealeaf shawl. 3 is the Mystery Knit Along. 4 is the blanket. I need to find the pattern. And 5 is the honeycomb sweater. If I get a 6, I get to pick what I'm knitting on. Here we go. I'm not going to be able to show this to you, so you're going to have to just believe me. That's the 6. Is that focused? Can you even see that logo? This is like very hard to, oh, hi. That's the Wormwood logo. Okay, so it's my pick. So guess what? I'm not going to tell you what my pick is. You'll find out on the next podcast. Because I'm that bitch. Okay, so I just want to update on one thing here. I did crack open the Wild Behind the Witchlight book, which is the new D&D book, and I love it, you guys. And I'm going to do I think I'm going to try to do either, maybe it'll be a longer campaign, but like a one-shot campaign for my husband. I don't know how it's going to work with just like one player. So I'm going to give him a sidekick, and we're going to hope that it works. And if not, I'm just going to have to scale all the stuff back a little bit. But I don't want, you guys don't give a shit. Basically, here's the deal. There is a carnival that travels between realms, and every 8 years it pops up somewhere. And the hook is that whoever the characters are, all your players that you're DMing for, all of your players when they were kids snuck into the festival when it came to their realm. And the deal is you have to buy tickets to get into this. And there are these hags who know that kids are not even kids, they know that people are sneaking in. And what they do is they steal something from the person who snuck in. And that person won't know until later. So they steal something from that person. So the hook of the campaign is that you have these player characters, my husband and his sidekick will be two of them, who as kids snuck into the festival, got something stolen, and they've waited years and years and years for this festival to come back so that they can go find what was stolen from them. And the thing I love about it is the stuff that was stolen on the surface could be really, seems like it's not a big deal, but the way you can play it can, you can do just miles with it. So like one of the examples was they steal your sense of fashion. So, which I think is one for a comedic thing that's hysterical. Like I would love to play that character, but I'm DMing, so I'm not going to get to play it. Maybe I could have one of the NPCs have something like that happen to them though, and then I could play out my dream of that. But if you think about that, like maybe that means that that character gets disadvantage rolls on stealth, on sneaking. You know, you lost your sense of fashion, so you probably stick out like a sore thumb. The other one was there was another one where it's like they stole your ability to smile. And I thought, okay, that'd be great. You could get disability on charisma throws, right? If this is all Greek to you, basically, when you play Dungeons and Dragons, when you're following a story and you ask questions to do things, and to find out if your character is able to do them, you roll a d20, and whatever you roll is kind of what you go with. And typically 1 to 10 is and then 10 to 20 is So if you roll at disadvantage, it means that you roll 2d20s and you take the lower roll of the two. If you roll at advantage, you roll 2d20s and you take the higher roll. So let's backtrack. The hags steal your ability to smile, and you want to go talk to one of the people at a vendor booth at this carnival. And you want to find out, like, hey, do you know anything about like the hags who like, steal stuff from you? And the DM will then play the NPC behind the vendor, and their answer will depend on what you roll. But because you don't have the ability to smile, you're going to roll at disadvantage. So either that vendor knows and they're not telling you, or maybe they just don't know at all. Or maybe you roll a 20 and they do know and they tell you, yeah, you need to go see such and such at the such and such tent. And that's how you progress the story. I love that hook. I love the hook of like, you're going to spend your time at this carnival trying to find what was stolen from you. So I'm going to set up that campaign and I'm super stoked about that. And I think that's really like, if I think back on the last 2 weeks, I didn't knit a lot. I knit a lot, but didn't knit on a lot. I cracked open my book. I got caught up on, oh, is it Marcella? First of all, I would have preferred to know about the mouse. That's all I'm gonna say. But that show is good. Okay, so I got caught up on that. Well, no, I'm kind of caught up on that. I forget what season I'm on, but I'm not in 3 yet. I think I'm in season 2. That's a scary friggin' show because of how real I think it kind of is. I cracked open my book. I did that. And that's really like, that's all I got going on. And I've got no complaints about that. It's October. We're headed towards Halloween. We've got trick or treat coming up, which in my neighborhood, for the first time ever, trick or treat is on a Sunday, which I don't particularly care about because I'm not a religious person, so it didn't offend me. But man, there's some people up in arms in my city about trick or treat being on a Sunday. I'm just saying, y'all need to, whatever. And that's what I got for you. Bunnies are good. Cats are good. Yeah, life's pretty good. And I do want to talk about one other thing really quickly because I think it's kind of important. Um, if you are someone who feels like you're not doing as good as other people are, like whether it's your knitting or whether it's sewing, whether it's cooking, whether it's just existing, you're enough. You're doing fine. And behind the veil of perfection that you see that people put outwardly for the world to kind of gaze upon, there's always an inner turmoil and dialogue that's going on that you don't see. And I think it's super important to be, for me, to be honest about like where my shortcomings are and what am I not, like, what am I not knitting on? What am I not getting done? But you know what? I'm not upset about not knitting on those things. I think it's kind of funny that that I had this lofty goal of like working on stuff and I didn't get it done. But that's the thing about goals. Sometimes goals will make you feel like a failure. And there was somebody who I went to high school with who posted something, I think on Instagram, maybe on Facebook, I don't know. But it was basically like instead of writing goals for what I need to get done, at the end of the day, I'm going to write my accomplishment list so that I feel positive about what I got done, as opposed to writing goals that you don't achieve and feeling bad about yourself. So just flip the script. You know, if you're feeling a certain way, flip the script. And to tie that into knitting, there is a podcast. It's not vegan, so don't at me. It's called Drowning in Yarn, and I think the gentleman who does it, his name, what is his name? Daniel? Oh my God, I don't remember his name. I'll link it down below. I really like him. Anyway, he knits really good sweaters. Well, he just knits really well anyway. Anyway, he was talking about on one of his podcasts about when you have to tink back or when you have to frog back something. And a lot of times when you make a mistake and you have to do that, like there are times when I've wanted to throw something across the room because it is just like, I can't believe I messed that up. And he made a comment, and I don't even think he understood, like, I don't know if he knows the effect that this comment at least had on me. He said, it's just knitting in reverse. He flipped the script. It wasn't about making the mistake and having to undo your friggin' mistake. You're just knitting in reverse. Flip the script. Knit in reverse. And what that did for me is when I have a design element that I need to maybe not have, just knit it in reverse and do it again. And what it taught me was not only to look at mistakes again as something to learn from and something to grow from, but it also just literally helped me understand the construction of knitting. Because when you knit in reverse or you undo your knitting, you're looking at it from a different vantage point, obviously. And when you do that, at least for me, I was able to understand the construction of what I was unknitting so that when I went back to knit it correctly, I had a much better understanding of what I needed to do and why I needed to do it. And I don't know that I would have looked at something like that way before. So thank you, Justin. I think his name's Justin. I think it just came to me. I think his name's Justin. Thank you, because that little off the shoulder comment you made that probably didn't feel like a big deal to you meant the world to me, and it helped me flip my own script. So I guess that's going to be the title of this podcast, Flip the Script. And let's play a game. It's called Scary Noises. She thinks her daddy's going to come back with the goddamn green berets. The stores are open! All right, leave it in the comments. You guys have a really great 2 weeks. Love each other, love yourself, so you can go out and spread that love and be the ray of sunshine that the world needs. Have a beverage. Alcoholic, non-alcoholic, I don't care. Treat yourself. See you guys.